Trinadapi Sunichena Toror Iva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalau Nastiva 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 Gatir Anyatha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nirantara Dasa. I got that name in 1974, having been accepted by my eternal spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. I am invited to this temple once or twice a month to speak on Krishna Katha. There are two kinds of Krishna Katha. That narration spoken by Krishna himself, which is found in the Bhagavad Gita and in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and narrations about Krishna being described by his devotees, as is found in so many Puranas and, of course, Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, today, I'm going to talk about three things. Tomorrow is what we know as Guru-Poornima. On that day, we worship our spiritual master and especially Srila Vyasa-Dev, who is the compiler of our Vedic philosophy. So I'm going to speak a little bit, and this is called Vyasa-Mahatmyam. Special verses from our Shastras helping us to understand who is this Veda Vyas. First, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a section called the Narayana Kavacha. And this Narayana Kavacha is a particular set of mantras and tantras for protection. And one of those mantras, there are many mantras in this Narayana Kavacha Stotram. There is one line, Dvaipayano Bhagavan Aprabodhad. May the personality of Godhead, in his incarnation as Vyasa-Dev, protect me from all kinds of ignorance resulting from the absence of Vedic knowledge. So that is a prayer of invocation. Then, in the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami has begun his instructions to Maharaj Parikshit. His instructions begin in the second canto. And after a few chapters, Shukadev feels impelled to get empowered by Krishna to speak further and answer the inquiries of Parikshit. So, in one of those chapters, there's a series of prayers that Shukadev offers. And in this one, he offers prayers to Vyasa-Dev. Namastasmai Bhagavate Vasudevaya Vedhase Papurgyanam Ayam Somya Yan Mukam Buru Hasavam. So Shukadeva Goswami prayed, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Srila Vyasa-Dev, the incarnation of Vasudev. So Vasudev is Krishna. Vasudev appears in the very first line of Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000 shlokas. The first line, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam is this 12-syllable mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Vasudev is Krishna. So this Vyasa-Dev is an incarnation of Vasudeva. This name Vasudev has at least two meanings. One meaning, that Krishna is the son of Vasudev. Krishna has unlimited names, and many of his names are in relationships with his devotees. We sang one of Kunti's prayers, and she said, Devaki Nandanayacha, that Krishna is many times referred to as the son of Devaki. Now yesterday, I was at a wedding, and somebody I know was asking me, why did Kunti in her prayers not mention Yashodanandan? In her prayers, she mentions Devaki Nanda, Nandanandan. Why did she not mention Yashodanandan? So I reminded her that later on in Kunti's prayers, there's a whole shloka where Kunti praises Yashoda. And she says, I am bewildered because I'm thinking about the time Krishna was tied up by Mother Yashoda, Damodar Leela. That's a prerogative of Yashoda, that she gets to bind Damodar, Krishna. So I pointed out, she does give special, because Kunti says, when I think about this pastime, I become bewildered. Why? Because Kunti knows that Krishna is God, but Yashoda does not. Yashoda thinks, this is just my boy. So that's called Yoga Maya. You're dealing with God, but you're unaware that it's God. Yoga Maya. But Kunti, she's well aware. Yes, Krishna is her nephew, but her first prayer, she says, you are the Supreme Personality. The first of Kunti's prayers, she offers respect. Krishna, you are God. You are the Supreme. So, I offer my obeisances to Srila Vyasa-Dev, the incarnation of Vasudev, who compiled the Vedic literatures. So that is Vyasa-Dev's biggest, there are many achievements, but his primary achievement is to compile all the Vedic literatures. Then Shukadev says, pure devotees drink, he uses the word drink up the nectarian transcendental knowledge dropping from the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So this reminds us of the third shloka of Bhagavatam, number 3. Pibita, that in Vyasa-Dev's opening shlokas to Bhagavatam, he says, Ningama Kalpatora Galitang Phalam, that the Vedas, all knowledge, Veda means knowledge. So our Vedas has material knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Nothing is excluded, right? So it is compared to a tree. A tree gives fruits and flowers. But Vyasa-Dev, in his opening shlokas, number 3, Vyasa-Dev says, but Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of that tree of knowledge. You all know, Indian people, what time, this is now summer. What fruit can you get now in India? Mango, right? And isn't it the system? Somebody climbs up the tree and that's handed down like a chain, am I right? That's how Prabhupada explained. Somebody goes high up and then it's passed down. You don't want to just throw it. Then it'll, so the fruit is carried down. So this Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada explains, yes, Vyasadeva compiled it, but it was first spoken by Vyasadeva's son, Shukadeva Goswami, Shuka, the parrot. Now, Prabhupada writes that there's some kind of mystic that when the parrot picks a little bit at the mango, it becomes better. I don't know if that's how Prabhupada explains. Maybe you know better than me. That when the parrot picks at the mango, it becomes, so in the same way, although his father Vyasadeva compiled Bhagavatam, when Shukadeva spoke it the first time, Shukadeva spoke it like the parrot, he made it even more sweet, more relishable. Yes, that's how that third made it more relishable so that everyone could taste this nectarian transcendental knowledge. Then, of course, Krishna's own words in Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga. I think this year we have Adik Mas, is that true? Adik Mas is coming this year? I think so. Yes? You can, yes. Purushottam Adik Mas. Very, very auspicious month. If you do any kind of religious or spiritual activity in that month, your return on investment, very much. Now you all know you have investments and you're looking to see, hey, what's going on? But here, when this Purushottam Adik Mas, very nice yield on your investment. So what does Krishna say? He says, Vaidaishcha sarvaya aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva cha aham. Aham, Krishna says, I. Krishna says, if you actually study all the Vedas impartially, no bias, you just study the Vedas, Krishna says, you will come to understand me. Vedaishcha sarvaya aham eva vedo. So twice aham, I. Krishna is saying, yes, go through the Vedas, your certificate of education, your graduation diploma, Krishna is God. Hari Bol. Then he says, Vedanta Krit. Krishna now says, I compiled Vedanta. What is Vedanta? Where knowledge ends. The conclusion of all the Vedic. Not you just keep memorizing facts and figures. No, there should be some conclusion. Just like you see so many times. Therefore, in the Gita, in the Bhagavatam. So many things, therefore, coming to a conclusion. Same way, I pointed out many times. The Vedanta Sutra begins with therefore. Very, very interesting. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Therefore, now is the time to inquire about the absolute truth, Brahman. Interesting. It begins with therefore, meaning Vyasadeva, who compiled this Vedanta, assumes that you have studied all 108 Upanishads. Then you can understand Vedanta Sutra. But Vyasa-Dev did us a big favor. I gave a class earlier today in ISKCON, Los Angeles, and I was also doing a Vyasa-Dev Mahatmyam. And I was mentioning at that time that Vyasa-Dev compiled all the, well, it says right here in Bhagavatam, originally there was one Veda. But Vyasa-Dev could see, as Kali Yuga was about to usher in, the people would be less fortunate, less intelligent. So Vyasa-Dev, out of compassion, took the original one Veda and broke it out into 4 divisions so that it would be easily accessible. Then, as I said, 108 Upanishads. And then after that, Mahabharat. You all know Mahabharat better than me. You've probably seen all the TV, right? So you guys know Mahabharat. You can teach me a thing or two. And then Vyasa-Dev did his most exquisite dissertation, scholar, Vedanta Sutra. But unfortunately, in order to understand Vedanta Sutra, you have had to have studied 108 Upanishads. You also must know Sanskrit proficiently, because everything is written in code form. Maybe some of you know how to write computer code. So to me, if I look at computer code, what's this? Zeros, ones, this. But for one who knows, the person knows, oh, this means this means this. So Vedanta Sutra means maximum knowledge, minimum words. Sutra. But it's explained early in Bhagavatam that even though Vyasa-Dev did all this Vedic literature, one day when he woke up and he began his morning sadhana, he was unhappy. His mind was disturbed. And he started to contemplate, reflect, introspection. And he sort of realized why this had occurred. And just at that moment, his spiritual master arose. And Narada, being his spiritual master, said, Vyasa-Dev, why are you despondent? And Vyasa said, no, Gurudev, find out the root cause of my unhappiness. He didn't want some cursory solution. He wanted the root cause. It's like if you go to a doctor. A good doctor will tell you, this is why your chart says this. That's a good doctor. You can pinpoint. Or maybe you've had the experience in India. You go to an Ayurvedic kavi, right? And he feels your pulse. I had that when I went to India, 75, 76. Some kavi came and he felt my pulse and said, okay, this. Such a lost art, so to speak. So Narada said, Vyas, the reason you're unhappy is because in all these Vedic literatures, you forgot one thing. You did not properly put Krishna in his rightful position. Krishna is mentioned in Mahabharata. Krishna is mentioned throughout the Puranas. But Narada chastised Vyasa-Dev. He said, yes, you have done all these Vedic literatures, but simply you have encouraged people to enjoy material life under the guise of religion. And Narada said, this is not right. Now you compile Srimad Bhagavatam and put Krishna on his proper position. Like here in this temple. Where is Krishna? Front and center. He's where he should be. And Narada said, you have to explain not only Krishna, but Krishna's devotees and their exchange, rasa. So that's what Bhagavatam is. It's a full dissertation of Krishna and his devotees and the via medium bhakti, devotional service. So we are grateful because the way Vyasa-Dev compiled Bhagavatam, everything that's in the Upanishads, everything that's in the Vedas, everything that's in the Vedanta Sutra is there in the 18,000 shlokas of Bhagavatam. In 12 cantos, 335 chapters. And the target, Dashama Skanda, 10th canto. Notice, Krishna's pastimes are placed in 10th canto. Why? It takes 9 cantos to explain this code word, Krishna. Everybody say. I said everybody. That's better. My LA crowd that I had this morning, they were fired up from the get-go. I was like, wow. Whenever I said Krishna, they roared back, Krishna! So I know it's later in the day, but I'll try to get you fired up. So that's something special about Bhagavatam, that it is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy, and it's presented in a way that all classes of men can appreciate. And then in that 10th canto, which is the heart of the Bhagavatam, actually, each canto is compared to a different part of meditation on Krishna. Cantos 1 and 2 is meditation on Krishna's feet. Cantos 3 and 4, Krishna's legs. And you gradually go up. And 10th canto, smiling face of Krishna. There is Krishna, always smiling, especially with Radharani. One time, in one of Prabhupada's temples, he said, hey, put Krishna and Radha closer together. They should not be apart. They should be close together. Yugala Kishore. They're the divine couple. So, in the 10th canto, there are 90 chapters. So the 10th canto is the largest of all the cantos in Bhagavatam. But one chapter is the Shiromani, crown jewel. What is that chapter? You see this picture over here, the Rasa dance? When Krishna disappeared from the gopis and Radha, the gopis all assembled on the Yamuna Tira, we sang, on the bank of the Yamuna, and they did a Namahat program. And they were crying out to Krishna. So that chapter is called Gopi Gita. There's Bhagavad Gita, Uddhava Gita, Shiva Gita, and there's also Gopi Gita. And I know some people, they recite that Gopi Gita quite regularly. After all, Bhagavad Gita is 700 shlokas, so that takes a while. Gopi Gita, 19. I like that. Yes. So, that Gopi Gita, that is the crown jewel of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna says, I'm the one who gives the Vedic knowledge. I understand the Vedas perfectly. By all the Vedas, you will come to know me. And my incarnation as Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutras, or there's other names, Brahma Sutras, Badarayani Sutras. It's all the same, the Vedanta Sutras. So Krishna's, and this confirms what we read earlier, that he is the incarnation of Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Krishna. Can't be anybody else. Veda Vid. And Krishna says, I know the Vedas. Now, when Sutta Goswami, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, he was asked by the sages of Naimisharanya 6 questions. And one of the questions was, now that Krishna has gone back to his abode, he left this planet 5,000 years ago. Now that Krishna has gone, where will the people go for shelter? Where will they go? Because this Kali Yuga is such a horrible age. In fact, Shukadeva Goswami, at the end of his instructions to Parikshit, says, Kaler dosha nide Rajan, my king, this age of Kali is an ocean of bad things. Ocean. Wave after wave after wave of bad news. Asti hi eko mahana. But, my king Parikshit, there's one good thing about Kali Yuga. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya. The kirtan of Krishna. Krishna kirtan. And Krishna kirtan means japa. Krishna kirtan means singing. Krishna kirtan means glorifying, describing, hearing about, discussing Krishna Katha. That's all Krishna kirtan. And Shukadev says to Parikshit, towards the end, if you do Krishna kirtan, Parang, you will go to the spiritual world. You won't have to come back to Placentia, Yorba Linda, wherever. Some people, I once gave a class, and they said, no, we don't want to go back to Godhead. I said, what? They said, yeah, we want to come back again in Beverly Hills. I said, oh my God. But you're not like that. I know all of you want to go to Krishna at the end of this life. Am I right? All in favor say, Haribol. Okay, good. We're waking up, or at least I'm starting to connect. Good. Yes. That's where we belong. In the spiritual world. Vaikuntha, where there's no anxiety. You can go anywhere in the United States, no, anywhere in the world, you'll not find Vaikuntha. Everything's got something. For instance, I once thought, let's move to Hawaii. So my wife said, okay. But as soon as we got to Hawaii, my wife opened the phone book and it had a list of what to expect. Earthquakes, tornadoes, volcanoes, hurricanes. Yeah, so here we are, we're thinking, even Prabhupada said, there's no good place on earth, but if there is, it's Hawaii. He once said that. He liked doing his translations there. But when we went, my wife saw the phone book and it said, tsunami, this. And we were thinking, oh my God, this isn't paradise. We're still in the material world. There's no safe haven. There's no safe place. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Knock on wood. But if there was an earthquake right now, we don't have to do anything, right? We're here. We just have to pray to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Many, many years ago, probably around 1995, 1996, I was in the ISKCON Los Angeles temple, and it was early fall, September, and I was looking at the deities, and an earthquake hit, and Jagannath was like rocking back and forth like this. It didn't last long, but I could see Jagannath going like this. And then actually later they had a big earthquake that was at 93 or 94, and the columns fell down. So after that, what they did, they made seat belts for the deities. If you've ever go behind the scenes, all the deities have seat belts. So if there is a shaker, the deities are. Now, I don't know if you know that there's a temple in, what is that? Where your brother lives. What's that? Chino Hills, right? What is that temple? Yeah. So when I went there years ago, one of the managers of the temple showed me how when they constructed that temple, they have these, yes. And I was saying, wow, this is amazing. So if there's an earthquake, their temple will, hopefully, nothing's foolproof. But I was very impressed. Wow. Let's get back. That's called tangent. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So, when Sutta Goswami is starting to answer the questions, the 6 questions of the sages of Naimisharanya, before speaking, he recites this prayer. Let's see if we can do it. Repeat. Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam deving saraswating vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Before reciting Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer obeisances unto the personality of Godhead. Everybody say, Narayana. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being. Unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. And unto Srila Vyasa-Dev, the author. So that's how Sutta Goswami begins. Then it says, later, Shukadev is giving Sutta Goswami is giving a brief list of some of the avatars of Krishna. He just mentions 20 or so, but actually there are unlimited incarnations of Krishna. But he presents 20. So it says the 17th is Vyasa-Dev, who appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashara Muni, and Vyasa divided the one Veda into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. And so the most important question that the sages of Naimisharanya asked Sutta was, now that Krishna has gone, left the planet, where will the people go for Sharanyam, shelter, Sharanam? And the answer, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam will give shelter to the people of Kali Yuga who have lost their vision. So we owe Vyasa-Dev, we're indebted to Vyasa-Dev for presenting this Vedic knowledge, because it is by knowledge that we can start to improve our life. The Lord Chaitanya says that the Vedas are actually teaching only three things: informing us, giving us knowledge about our eternal relationship with Krishna. Once that is accepted, that I have an eternal relationship with Krishna, the next question is, what do I do now? And that is called, so that first item, sambandha, reawakening, getting woke spiritually, is to understand that I am the eternal servant of Krishna. So much information is there to help us to understand that we have an eternal relationship with Krishna. Now, once that is accepted, then what do I do? Abhideya, devotional service. Same thing Krishna says in Gita. You want to see me? Bhakti. You want to know me? Bhakti. You want to come back to me? Bhakti. That has never changed in Bhagavad Gita. That word bhakti is used in the 8th chapter, in the 18th chapter, and 11th chapter. It is by devotional service. So I also wanted to mention today, so tomorrow is Guru-Poornima, and then the day after that here in America, Independence Day. You also have your India Independence Day. What is it, August 15th? Right. And we learn from the Bhagavatam, actually the very first shloka of Bhagavatam. Our independence is limited. Krishna's independence, absolute. Therefore, the word is used, abhigya swarat. Right? You know that word, you know, swarat, swaraja. So, Vyasa-Dev begins Bhagavatam by saying Krishna, or technically Vasudeva, is abhigya, all-knowing. That's not hard to accept. If you read Gita, we know that Krishna is in our hearts. And Krishna is giving matak smritir jnanam apohanam. Krishna is giving us knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness. And we learn from chapter 13, Krishna in the heart, anumanta hi upadrashta. He is witnessing everything that's going on. And he's the one sanctioning or not sanctioning. Two teams are playing in the soccer match. One team wins, one team loses. Why? Krishna in the super soul, in the heart, said, you make a mistake, you score the goal. So super soul, Krishna in the heart, is doing many things. Many, many things. And this Krishna in the heart, Krishna says, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. I am your dearmost friend. Why? You may have a very nice partner. You might be very, very happily married, right? But my wife can only get this close. Of course, she can get in here. But she can't actually get inside. But who's inside my heart? Who's my next door landlord? Krishna. And not only that, after this life, I will go one way, my wife will go, who knows if we'll be together. There's no guarantee, right? Although I've been told something like 7 births, you stay together for 7, each changing roles. But there's no guarantee. But Krishna has been with us life after life after life since we came here. Krishna has been our constant companion, helping us, waiting for us to turn to him. That's all Krishna is looking for. When is this individual going to turn to me for help? Because Krishna does not interfere with minute free will or minute independence. So we have free will, we have independence, but it's limited. It's not absolute. Krishna is absolutely Swarat, independent. So the way the Vedanta philosophy is that if you want true independence, eternal independence, independence means become free from this modes of material nature. Become liberated. That's how you become eternally free and independent, by rising above the modes of nature. And Krishna says in that very important verse in chapter 7 that this material energy of mine is practically insurmountable. You cannot do it on your own. Independent effort, you will not get your liberation. Not happen. So Krishna says, this material energy of mine is insurmountable, but if you surrender to me, you can easily cross. So that is the key message. To come to the point, yes, Krishna, I am yours. I am going to live my life for you. I'm going to voluntarily, that's why Krishna says, Saradharman parityaja mamekam sharanam. There's that word. Sharanam has two meanings, surrender or shelter. There is the Pushti Marg mantra, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. I take shelter or I surrender to Krishna. Same thing, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. It's a moment-to-moment affirmation that Krishna, I am yours. Just like at the time of marriage, yesterday, I attended a marriage. One of my longtime students since he was born. His name is Madhav Garmalkar. And now he's Neela Madhava Garmalkar. And he had a nice wedding ceremony yesterday. And I was told that I was going to speak something because I've been his teacher since he was born. But it, for some reason, didn't happen. And I was thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about? And so where we were, in this beautiful place in Carpinteria, and they had nice mandap, they had fire yagya, they had Radha Krishna deities, they had Govardhan Shilas, and very beautiful atmosphere. And there was these big trees, shade trees. So I was thinking, okay, if they ask me to speak, I will say, look at these trees. They're giving shelter in this hot sun. So I was going to tell the married couple, you take shelter of each other. You are meant to give protection to each other. You're a team, teamwork. And the perfect marriage, I know you all have. I know you. You all have perfect marriages. The perfect marriage, each is looking for the interest of the other. That's the way. It's even my father, God rest his soul, he spoke at my wedding. I had my wedding in the Topanga Canyon ISKCON temple. And my father came, and my father is a kind of a preacher in his Catholic faith. So I asked my father to speak at the wedding. And he spoke so nicely. And he quoted, I guess, from the Bible, that love is not self-seeking. That really touched me, and my father. Of course, it took me 25 years to learn it. Took a long time. And if he asks my wife, she'll say, no, you still haven't learned. Yes. It's not self-seeking. In other words, it's selfless. And Radha and Krishna, they're the ideal loving couple. Radharani will do anything for Krishna. In fact, there is that series of statements when Lord Chaitanya is explaining the Shikshastakam prayers. Radharani, she typifies pure love. She says, if there's something that Krishna wants that I hate, that's my best thing, and I'll get it for Krishna. And if there's something I like and Krishna doesn't like, I'll reject it. That's Radha's mentality. Pure love. She has no selfish interest. And Chaitanya Charitamrita also describes Radha and the gopis. Why do they dress the way they do? To please Krishna. Why do they do so many things to make arrangements to be that Radha and Krishna can be? Because they all have that pure love mentality. We'll do anything to satisfy Krishna. Thank you very much. Let us do just a minute or two of kirtan. What's that? 5 minutes. Thank you. Hari Haraye Namaha. Hari Haraye Namaha. Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Krishna Vaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Gopala Hari Haraye Namaha. Bolo. Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Bolo. Yadavaya Namaha. Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudana. Gopala Hari Hari Haraye Namaha. Hari Haraye Namaha. Hari Haraye Namaha. One more time, let's do it together. Hari, come on. Haraye Namaha. You do it by yourself. Okay, let's see who's better. Ladies, you do it. Men? Envelope, please. It's a tie. Let's all do it one more time. Hari Haraye Namaha. Sri Sri Radha Raman Bhagavan Ke. Thank you very much. May Krishna bless you, protect you, and maintain you. Happy Guru Poornima. Happy independence from Maya. Thank you. Thank you.
So how do we maximize that minute independence? That is the question.
You know. Gita.
Now we are ready for the Aarti Seva. Donation for the Aarti Seva is $31, and if you are interested, please contact me or come forward. So for your foreign name,
You know everything. You just do that to test me.
However many times Bhagavatam is spoken, still we get something new.
Amrit.
Hello. Sri Krishna